If you gain from this video, someone you care about will. Please don't forget to share with them after watching, as well as subscribe. The unsuspecting fool. First, I would like to point out that the word fool here refers more to the act rather than the person. It would be a good thing if people's motives were always honorable. Unfortunately, that is not the case. There is a story of a young woman who was driving along a narrow and lonely road during the day, who decided to stop to offer help to a young male hitchhiker who appeared to be lost. With nowhere to go, the hitchhiker asked to shelter in her nearby house, so that he could resume his journey in the morning the next day. She kindly agreed. That night, he sneaked into her room and sexually molested her. He looked innocent and harmless, but hidden behind these looks was a sexual predator, which leads us to the first tip. 1. Things are not always as they appear. I'll call it the golden rule of safety, which applies to people, places and things. Ask yourself, have you ever been nice to someone you disliked or wouldn't want to have anything to do with? If your answer is yes, was the person in question able to see the dislike behind the niceness you portrayed? If the answer is no, meaning your mind was not as nice as your appearance towards this person. If so, imagine what lies behind the niceness of others. I don't mean you should suspect people. At the same time, it would be very foolish to throw yourself at someone you don't really know, simply because he or she is nice. You live in an area and there are dark alleys. Even if nothing evil had happened there in the past, there is a first. Be suspicious and avoid it. The decent look of a place shouldn't define the decency of its users, as people have been seduced, sexually abused, molested, and taken advantage of in offices, neighborhoods, places of worship, as well as dark streets. 2. Understand your body and emotions. The male body responds more to exposed female bodies. Such responses do not take permission from the man's reasoning. It will then be foolish for a man who is in a relationship to go to places where there are exposed female bodies and assume his body will not respond. The female body responds more to affection and seductive words. Again, such responses do not take permission from the lady's reasoning. It would also be foolish for a lady in a relationship to let herself receive affection and listen to nice and seductive words from another man and expect her emotions not to become involved. Many men and women have ended up as victims of this, with consequences such as divorce, disgrace, disappointment and even death, because they did not understand their bodies and emotions. 3. Be situationally aware. We walk, jog, etc. in the streets in the hope that all around us is safe. We are totally unaware of the people sitting, standing or walking next to us. We let our children play on our streets without a care. This is an ideal situation, but reality isn't ideal. Why are kidnappers able to sneak in on people? Why are children pulled off the streets by these kidnappers? Why are people who jog molested and often killed? Remember, to carry out these atrocities described above, the perpetrator has to be physically close to the victim, which also suggests that the victim didn't know the individual or perpetrator was close to them, or there at all. You meet a guy or girl who wants to be around you all the time. How much do you know about him or her? What is their character or history? You need to have a good idea of who you are allowing into your personal space or life. Failure to do this leaves you situationally unaware, in terms of place and people, hence vulnerable to unwanted sex, abuse or sexual assault, which is currently a common occurrence. By applying these 3 tips, you cease to be an unsuspecting fool, hence you are safer. Please do not forget to subscribe for more videos. Feel free to leave your comments and also visit our website at www.wisdomstuff.com by clicking the link in the description box below. Thank you for listening.